Hello viewers, welcome to this drawing masterclass. In our last lesson, we learned how to shade cylinders using blending technique. In today's lesson, I want us to learn a new technique of shading called hatching. This is our topic for today. Before we move to the content of this lesson, we should ensure that we have the materials required, the tools, pencils, eraser, paper. We should have all the materials required because we want to draw. We are preparing ourselves for a drawing lesson. We want to learn to draw. And let us start. What is hatching? Hatching is a shading technique where the artist uses parallel one-directional lines on a surface to draw or to create or even to suggest value, textures, or patterns. Let us explain it practically now. It is a shading technique where the artist uses roughly parallel one-directional lines, parallel one-directional lines to create even some shade. You can create a shade. You can create a value. You can show some value. You can use hatching lines to create value. You can use this technique of hatching to show patterns or even textures. You can create any type of texture that you want. All the textures, you can create as many textures as you want. Using hatching technique. These are various textures. You can even see some patterns here. For your design, you can create your own patterns using hatching technique. Before we proceed, we shall be mentioning some terms here. We shall be mentioning some terms like value and tone. We need to know what is the meaning of these two terms. Value. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. Value is a measure of how light or how dark a color is. When it comes to tone, tone is the lightness or darkness of a color. When you add some little black color to any color of your choice, that color of your choice gets darker until it assumes a dark tone. You can even start calling it a dark red, dark blue, because it has assumed a darker tone because of adding black to it. If you continue adding more black to that color, for example, you had dark red, you add more black color to it, the dark red color will become very dark red color. Those are the two terms I want us to keep reminding ourselves. Now we want to do another exercise. The exercise of creating tonal values. using hatching technique. There are two techniques of creating tone of values using hatching technique. The first method of creating tone of values using this same hatching technique is to space the parallel lines. You can space the parallel lines. I want to draw these parallel lines. I'm drawing parallel lines. I'm spacing them gradually. I put more in between. You can see here at this edge, I've packed them. They are closely packed. The lines are very close to each other. As I space them, you can see the tone is becoming lighter. The tone is becoming lighter. You see, that is one way of creating tone of value. Tone of value. There is a value. The tone is becoming lighter until the lightest. It is very black here. The tone becomes gradually lighter until on this extreme edge, we have almost a highlight here. Another method of creating tone of values is to increase or decrease the weight of lines. Lines have weight. When you have a thick line, we call it has some weight. We have thick lines and thin lines. We say thick lines have more weight than thin lines. The thicker the line, the heavier it looks. Like that. If you want to increase, you can choose tone of value by increasing or decreasing the weight. I'm now increasing the weight of this line. You can see I'm applying more pressure with the pencil. The graphite on this pencil is being pressed onto the paper, so that is how I'm creating some tone of value. Can you see some tone of value now? It looks darker here and lighter here. There is a very dark tone here, and there is almost a highlight here. Those are the two methods I wanted us to learn about of how to create tone of value using hatching technique. Today I want us to create value gradients using hatching technique. An artist by the name Denman Rose in 1907 came up with a value scale. He called it value scale at that time, but nowadays we call it value gradient. And he gave some values values to the tones, and the value was ranging from 1 up to 9, with white having the lowest value of 1, and black was given the highest value of 9. Then, for example, here, look at it here. 1 is white. I'm pointing at value 1. He called it white. On the extreme edge is 9. This is the highest value. He give it 9. And that it is black color, this one. From black you go to low dark, then you will go to dark, high dark, mid value, low light, light, highlight until white. Then I was wondering, why was black given the highest value of 9? Is it because when you add all the pigments, all the colors, all the pigments combined or mixed together, they create black? Was it the reason? Maybe. Give me your comments. I want to hear from you why you think black has the highest value. Now, I want us to do an exercise. You want to learn how to create value gradient using hatching technique. We want to start from, let's draw a line here. This line, we give it a, it is the line for our scale. That will be 9. On the extreme edge will be 9. On this edge it will be 1. The tones range between 1 and 9. They are arranged from the darkest to the lightest on this continuum. You can, they are gradual from black to the lightest color called white. Now let's start with the box. We want to create now that gradient. We draw that box. We want to now draw using hatching technique. This is our value scale or value gradient. You remember what we called this value here? I'm creating value using hatching technique and thereby creating a gradient of tones. Yeah, tones are graduating from darkest to lightest. This is now our value. Gradient, our value gradient, value gradient. We have created You can now see that tonal value, the tones are graduating from darkest to lightest. You remember the values, the names of these values? The first one was 9. The darkest was 9. The lightest was 1. In between is 5. There. Then you have 4, 3, 2, the 6, 7, 8. Remember what 9 was? It was black. Huh? Black is the darkest color. Then it is no dark. 7 is dark. 6 is high dark. 5 is mid value. 4 is low light. 3 is light. 2 is highlight. And of course, 1 is white. This is our value gradient. We have created tonal values in a scale ranging from 1 to 9, showing how tones graduate from the darkest to the lightest. That is our lesson for today. We have come to the end of this lesson. I want you to continue this exercise of shading, of creating value gradient, so that you can see how value graduates from darkest to lightest. It's a practice. You need to do a lot of practice because we are using hatching technique. That brings us to the end of this lesson. For your assignment, I request you to continue practicing how to create tonal value gradient using hatching technique. In our next lesson, we shall learn how to shade a box or a cube using hatching technique. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe, and YouTube will be notifying you whenever we publish a video of this nature. You can also click the like button. You can click share, and we also request you to write your comments. Give your comments about this topic. Bye for now. See you in the next video.